Have you ever noticed this woman in court, blindfolded, holding a scale and a sword? You've probably seen her at court premises, law faculties, or outside court buildings. A woman, blindfolded, holding a scale in one hand and a sword in the other. That statue is called Lady Justice, inspired by Lady Justice, rooted historically in the Roman goddess Justitia and the Greek goddess Themis. She is the universal symbol of justice across the world, but her meaning goes deeper, especially when we talk about law, whether local or international. Justice is the moral foundation of law. Law is the system. Justice is the purpose. Justice simply means fairness, equality, and the proper application of rules without bias. Philosophers like Aristotle describe justice as giving each person what is due to them. Modern legal systems build on that principle. The blindfold represents impartiality. Justice must not consider tribe, wealth, social status, political connection, religion. This principle is reflected in constitutional guarantees of equality before the law. For example, the UK upholds equality under the rule of law, a principle strongly developed through cases, such as Entick v Carrington 1765, which established limits on government power. Internationally, Article 7 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights states, "All are equal before the law, and are entitled without any discrimination to equal protection of the law." Justice must not see who you are. It must see only the facts. The scale represents evaluation. Before judgment, both parties are heard. Evidence is presented. Arguments are tested. This reflects the legal principle of adi alteram partem, hear the other side. It is a fundamental rule of natural justice in common law systems. In criminal law, the burden of proof is beyond reasonable doubt. In civil law, it is on the balance of probabilities. Justice is not emotional. It is weighed. The sword symbolizes power, not violence, but lawful authority. It represents the power to punish wrongdoing, to enforce court orders, and the authority of the state. Under the Human Rights Act 1998, courts must apply and interpret laws consistently with human rights. Once judgment is given, enforcement mechanisms exist: fines, imprisonment, injunctions, damages. Justice must be firm. The sword is sharp because justice must be decisive. Local law refers to the laws of a specific country. It includes constitutional, criminal, and civil law. Also employment law, contract law, and administrative law. For example, in the UK, the Equality Act 2010 protects against discrimination. The Employment Rights Act 1996 protects workers from unfair dismissal. The Data Protection Act 2018 protects personal information. Local courts, such as the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom, interpret and enforce these laws. Local law governs individuals and organizations within that country. It is immediate. It is enforceable. It carries the sword. International law governs relationships between states and, increasingly, individuals. It comes from treaties, formal agreements between states. Customary international law, general principles recognized by civilized nations, judicial decisions, and academic writings. The foundation of modern international law is the United Nations Charter. Key international instruments include Universal Declaration of Human Rights, European Convention on Human Rights, Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court. International courts include International Court of Justice, International Criminal Court. International law promotes human rights, peace and security, accountability for war crimes, protection of minorities. Unlike local law, enforcement in international law can be complex, often relying on cooperation between states. But the principles remain the same. Justice should be blind. Justice should be balanced. Justice should be firm. The rule of law, the bridge between local and international justice. The rule of law means no one is above the law. Laws must be clear and applied equally. Courts must be independent. Human rights must be protected. This principle connects domestic and international systems. Whether in a small local tribunal or before an international court in The Hague, the symbol remains the same. The blindfold, impartiality. The scale, fairness through evidence. The sword, lawful authority. That blindfolded woman is not decoration. She is a warning. She is a promise. She is a principle. Every time we step into a courtroom, whether for employment disputes, criminal trials, or human rights claims, that message stands. Justice does not belong to the powerful. Justice belongs to the law, and the law must serve fairness. Justice should be blind. Justice should be balanced. Justice should be firm.